Hello, everyone, and good evening or good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Carol Nyaguthii, and welcome to this session about the Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India regional session. In this session, we'll discover the importance of DarkSky advocacy in Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India, and we'll gain some insight on the efforts being made to preserve the beauty of the night sky and reduce light pollution, and the various initiatives that have been taking place in these regions. And feel free to use the transcription below at the Zoom function, and use the captions, and also drop a hello in the chat and tell us where you're joining us from, and that will be awesome. Next, we have 3 speakers for this session. Earlier we had Shriram, who was to be our first speaker, but unfortunately he's had an emergency and he will not be able to join us today. So first on we have myself, and I'll be talking about, I got asked to maybe, okay, sorry. Please remember to adhere to the code of conduct that was shared earlier in the attendee hub. And so first off, we have myself, and I am passionate about DarkSky advocacy and the preservation of advocating about DarkSky preservation. I have a background in astronomy and astrophysics. That's from my undergraduate studies, and I like to engage in stargazing events and to foster an appreciation of the natural night sky and to raise awareness about light pollution reduction. And I'll share. Yeah, so today I'll be speaking about advocating for dark skies in, I hope you can all see my screen.
Yep, it looks great.
All right. I'll be talking about advocating for dark skies in Kenya. Earlier this year, we had introduction of the Kenya chapter of DarkSky International. I'm glad to be a member of it, and I was able to join earlier in the year as it was starting out, and part of a great team that's doing amazing stuff to be able to ensure that there is more awareness about light pollution and just implementing the agenda from the International Dark Sky Organization tailored to our location. About the importance of dark skies, you know that light pollution poses a significant threat to many aspects of the human and wildlife well-being, making it essential to advocate for dark sky preservation. We know it's important for dark skies, as you've heard from the previous sessions, for human health, for our well-being, because of the how light pollution affects our circadian rhythm. We have the wildlife preservation. We know how light pollution affects nocturnal animals in their ecosystem. And as we earlier on saw from one of the speakers, that it the loss of the dark skies encourages the disruption from invasive species. and there's the energy conservation, because light that's used inappropriately, that's this wastage of energy. And there's the cultural heritage. I know we gained a lot from the astrotourism engagement session we had about these people and indigenous communities who have this connection to the dark sky, the night sky, and the loss of the dark skies and the invasion of light pollution. And light pollution, you see, it's a threat to their connections and their traditions. And you also have the natural beauty and stargazing. I mean, you go outside, you really enjoy it if it's really dark and you have all these stars, and someone will say there's this connection, you feel these connections to it. And also there's very, what you have last but not very least, astronomy and research, dark skies, or we need dark skies to be able to have this research. And for astronomy, we have to have, and light pollution is really a hindrance for that. And we've seen very many articles going on about that. So,
Carol, we see your whole PowerPoint screen if you want to hit
sorry.
to present.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, there you
Is
go.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So we have the case study of Kenya from 2012 to 2022. This is the data I got from the light pollution map. And we know most of us are familiar with this. And as we can see here, from 2012, we can see, as we can see, Kenya is endowed with many regions that are have minimal or close to no light pollution, as you can see from the northern part of Kenya to the eastern, to some going down here towards some part of the coast. And these are very important. These places are at a very at a place of advantage for astrotourism, and we have great night sky generally, but we see that in some of these places, like in the major cities, we see here Nairobi highlighted with some levels of light pollution. And as we can see over the years, in the next slide, it's 5 years later from 2012, we have 2017. There's a slight, not slight, it's quite noticeable in light pollution in the area surrounding Nairobi and towards the western part of the nation. And also you can see going forward to 2022, these 10 years from this, we can see there's quite an increase. But that's around the cities. And we can see this increase in light pollution. And why this is important that we pursue this mission for light, for dark sky conservation or preservation. As you can see, we have these dark skies, we have this resource. So as much as we are a developing country, we want to make sure as much as we develop, as much as we go ahead to become more developed like other nations, we want to make sure that these light pollution levels, these dark skies we have, they are preserved by ensuring we have the right lighting policies, and adhering to the dark sky conservation policies. So at the moment, dark sky Kenya is at the forefront of advancing dark sky advocacy in our country. So and dark sky Kenya is very focused on the international dark sky designation in collaboration with the conservancies, the wild refuges and national parks in Kenya. So DarkSky Kenya seeks to facilitate the designation of conservancies, wild refuges and national parks to encourage communities around protected areas to preserve and protect our dark sites through responsible lighting, policies and public education. So personally, my mission, I didn't mention this, how I came into DarkSky, I learned about light pollution and became interested about DarkSky advocacy is in my third year of university. It was in 2019. I got to hear about light pollution from someone who came to uni and was telling us about what light pollution means and why we should care. And I found that very interesting. And I reached out and that was Dr. Nyaguthii, and he told me that I could actually pursue this as a project. And so for my final year of university in 2021, I did a little research on light pollution in my area, in the Nairobi metropolitan area. And through this, at this time, I was able to learn more about light pollution, and I got to understand why we really should care, why dark sky conservation is important. And so my mission is to create awareness and make meaningful contribution toward policy changes in lighting in Kenya. I aim to engage in mapping specific regions with measurements of light pollution to provide valuable data that supports evidence-based policy changes for better lighting. More on that as we go on. So for the Dark Sky Kenya, we've seen that we started this year. It's been really about growth. We are growing, and we've achieved quite some success stories, as we can see going forward. So we've had community outreach and the creating of light pollution awareness. And in community outreach, what DarkSky Kenya has been doing, there's been webinars where we have someone who's more knowledgeable, or someone who knows about this IDSP designation process, come and talk with our members. So we have a meeting and we get to learn more from them. And this has been important into maybe getting more understanding about why we should care about this. And there's been online talks as part of the outreach. Earlier on, I was able to join the Amateur Astronomer Society of Kenya, where these people are interested in astronomy. So when they heard about DarkSky Kenya, they were like, "Oh, this sounds interesting. Please tell us what's this? What you guys doing?" And from that engagement, we were able to get some people coming over and joining us at DarkSky Kenya, and together we are able to continue advocating for this. And we've had screenings at the Nairobi Planetarium, and that was a very fast engagement, and it was I'd say it was successful in brought people from young kids to people in the conservation industries and everyone in between. And we could see from the questions after, there was this interest, and people are like, "Oh, okay, so light pollution is a thing, and I want to know more about it." And that we were able to create more engagement, and there's been social media outreach with our LinkedIn and also Instagram. Also, so about light pollution awareness. So here below you can see this is myself and a group of others at the University of Nairobi Astronaut. So this is for the better part of the start of the year to the middle of the year. We had sessions where we'd have the students at the astrophysics and space science program create events where we invited speakers to come and talk about topic in astrophysics or space science, or technology that's involved in space science. And after on, we'd have planetarium shows and and telescope shows, and skygazing with telescopes. And because the University of Nairobi is located right outside the city, the city center. So we can actually see the effects of light pollution through the sky glow. And while we are viewing the telescopes, we can only be able to see magnitude 0, magnitude 1, or maybe just some of the planets, and we're able to explain to everyone why this is and why we're seeing only these few stars. And when people are able to connect with that through their lived experience or engaging in it, they are able to see, oh, this actually we should care about light pollution, and measuring artificial light at night. Here is the earlier on late last year, early this year, I was lucky to be a beneficiary of the Sky Quality Meter grant from the DarkSky International, where I was able to get the Sky Quality Meter. And here is the very first time I was trying to take, obviously not the very best position to be taking measurements here, but it's the very first time I was trying to take it from my balcony, and you can see the measurements. And from the background, because I live around the city, you can see there's the glow towards the horizon. And in the other slide, sometimes I was up country, and you can see I had some of the best nights, and you can see from the measurements. And as I said, I'm interested in mapping, but there's a challenge in that as much as I wanted to do this, I couldn't do it on my own. And earlier on, in one of the sessions, in the other regional sessions, I saw the students, the students in China, what they done, and that was really inspiring, and that's something we could look to adopt around here. So earlier this year, when I was doing this project in 2021, I didn't have the Sky Quality Meter. I didn't have much resources from my location or people who had done it in Kenya. So it was really about me just doing my own thing. And luckily I had many resources from people, from DarkSky advocates who had done it before. And yeah, so this year there was, I came up with I was requested to make a simple activity that could go in, that could be taken by the astronomy and space science students at the University of Nairobi, that could be incorporated into their curriculum, into their syllabus, so they're able to do this. So, and I think this is important because we'll have more people knowledgeable about this, more people interested in this, and when they do it in school, I think it's more effective for them to learn, and they'll be able to get this interest, and maybe the mapping will have more. Now this, I saw how this high school did it in their school, and maybe this is a good idea to start the mapping with the campus or the surrounding area, and be able to see if we can have these policies adopted. So impact and results. So for the time DarkSky has been around, and from what we've engaged in, we've seen there's an increased awareness about light pollution, and there's been collaboration because we've seen the Kenya Wildlife Conservancies Association has come on board, and which is a body for all conservancies and conservancies in Kenya, wildlife conservancies. So we've seen them urging their members to implement or to come on board on this IDSP, the International Dark Sky Place Designation Program, and that's ongoing at the moment. I believe in the very early stages of it. And then there's the educational programs now with the students, and there's been more of a community involvement from people who are into astronomy and people in the lighting industry. We've seen some people joining us, and these people are very interested in being able to advance our agenda going forward. And in conclusion, I'll say DarkSky outreach initiatives have yielded a range of positive results, as mentioned before. There's the increased awareness about dark skies preservations and about light pollution awareness, I'd say. And then there's the support for policy changes and the adoption of light pollution regulations. That's from the the Kenya Wildlife Conservation Conservancies Association, and then there's been the active community involvement with the people who've joined us and to become part of the DarkSky Kenya, and with whom we look forward to continue and be able to gather more great things about dark skies and more benefits, reap more benefits from this designation and from advocacy and from the implementation of the lighting policies, the light pollution mitigation policies, and what have you. And thank you very much. That was my time.